With this session update, I'm Shannon Lurkey. The Senate gave its final approval to a bill that would restore the right to vote to individuals convicted of a felony upon completion of incarceration. Here are some highlights from the debate.
House File 28 is affectionately known as Restore the Vote. Members, as you probably know, that right now in the state of Minnesota, under Minnesota Statute 609.165, that an individual has to complete probation before their right to vote has been restored. Members, we understand that Minnesota has long probationary sentences, sometimes 10 years, sometimes 15 years, sometimes 20 years, whatever that number is. But we know that in the state of Minnesota right now, we have more than 55,000 of our friends, our neighbors, and family members who are not allowed to vote. They should have the right to vote. What House File 28 does, it says that if a person is not incarcerated and if they're living in our communities, they should have the right to vote.
The immediate vote restoration of a felon allows no time for the character of that individual to be observed or tested, which is really the definition of probation. And getting the right to vote the day you leave incarceration doesn't allow anyone to judge that. But yet that person will be able to vote on individuals that will affect the public policies of this state. I just think it's a little too fast, a little too quick, and what my individual studies have revealed is it does not bring a lowering of recidivism. I'm sorry to say.
A lot of these criminals had the right to vote before they committed the crime, and it didn't stop them, nor did it assimilate them. So sometimes you have to have consequences, and not being able to vote is a consequence. You know, the victims have a right to live in a safe society. They have a right to not be violated. And when you diminish some of the consequences, like we have here in Minnesota, it results in two things. One, it diminishes the crime that was committed against the victim. And number two, it sends a message to those who want to do crimes to go ahead and do them. The consequence is light.
The fact is, at some point, 95% of incarcerated persons are going to be released from prison and re-enter our communities. We want them to safely and successfully reintegrate into our community to get jobs, housing, community involvement, and education. Voting is a piece of that. We are all safer if these persons reintegrate safely. Our neighbors are safer, our friends are safer, our families are safer, and we ourselves are safer.
There being 35 ayes and 30 nays, the bill is passed and its title agreed to.
To continue following these issues and more, watch legislative coverage Monday through Friday on the PBS Minnesota channel or visit www.senate.mn and www.house.mn.